And I hate niche. I hate like things that just aim for like, oh, we want like, I don't know, whatever Shanahan's. They always had a niche for like, you make over $100,000. I saw their thing one time. It was like, who wants to like niche it? Like just get diversity in here, and that's coming from New York. That's always
you're trying to get an old wooden chip in here.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like really, how do we? I know those chips. You're talking about those things they give you. Or?
I was quoting Anchorman.
Oh,
diversity.
It's
an old.
okay.
Oh, well, why would the network want an old wooden chip, Ron?
Part of the Stone thing.
Okay.
We watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, and local news.
Started to after last night.
We get high and watch local news. It's semi-depressing, but semi-hilarious.
Oh, it's got to be really good and bad together.
Last night's was great. I wish we recorded it. Hold on. When did Root Down open? What year?
2008.
2008.
Like the week, and this is part of me crying on the stairs, the week the worst recession was announced, right? I think it was like the summer of 2008 was the week when I had like all my money dried up. And I was sitting here 3 months prior to opening, because we opened in December. And that's when I remember the landlord gave me somebody who gave me, and it was like 30% interest. And then I found somebody else. It was all this shit that I was like, man, I'm about to like borrow myself out of business.
30% interest. That's pretty good rate.
Yeah, that's
That's how I got my car.
Yeah, with 100% credit.
Shout out to the Stevenson group, dickheads. Just kidding. I hadn't driven since Nam. I'm constantly drunk.
self-imposed.
Yeah. I know
Not
better.
ordered, right?
No, by no means. I have a license that I showed to the bartender and everything.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a lie, but
So a lot of it was just the timing was treacherous. Everybody, I think, was looking at me as, especially when some people heard, like, what are you doing? What's your food? And I'd give them this spiel about, our sort of DNA. It's about diversity and culture and jazz, but we're applying that to food and hospitality and design. And it's going to be part this and vegetarian focused and farm to table and trash all over people just thought like this dude is going to be out of business in a week. So I think I got a lot of askew looks from people that really just thought this is one of the worst ideas I've ever heard, which some people have told me years later, like when I heard your pitch, I just wanted to run the other way. Especially, I also wanted to do like 50 mojitos, my one carryover from Key West. I wanted to have a bingo board in there, and I want to have 50 mojitos. And I wanted people to hit a ball, and they get a ball that's, let's say, B9. B9 would be a tobacco and rosemary mojito.
Holy fuck, that's awesome.
But that one got vetoed by my bar manager, who is like,
start a small
hopefully
one of
he's
those,
no longer
please.
with the team. She
was great, but she was like, mojitos are not what you need to do.
For the record, that just sounds fun. It
Mojitos
doesn't have
are
to be
amazing.
just mojitos. It could have been like just all of the crafted cocktails. And
You hit the ball, and it tells you what you're drinking.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fantastic.
We never did it. We bought a bingo board. I have one in storage. We never put it up.
All right.
But maybe it's time to...
Hold on to that idea.
If you let people, nowadays, and we won't make you go through the whole kit and caboodle of, you have a slew of restaurants now under the Edible Beats, all of which have, like you mentioned, the veggie forward dish. Shout out to our vegetarian friends, the Vital Root place that I definitely sure as fuck don't go to. But the other ones I love, thoroughly, and, they're all veggie forward, but that's, the creativity there is fantastic. So please bring the bingo board out. And I think the menus are creative as well, but that sounds like some fun, like concepts where like you got to think a little bit outside. You got to zig when everyone zags. Like
for sure.
There's enough food podcasts out there. Let's start using some foul language. Let's play some Grateful Dead and let's get high as hell before we do these episodes. And that's how we became famous.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. We're following your footsteps. Being creative.
You have an application. I'm filling it out.
Well, you've signed it. We have NDAs.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
So you successfully survived the recession, and then you go on to open up all these restaurants. And now, what's the game? Now what's going on?
We have number 6 on deck.
So I'll run through like a 30-second of each. Linger was next. Linger in the old mortuary was amazing, just beyond my wildest dreams of. I was so underprepared, underfinanced, and overwhelmed.
That's a theme.
I was about to say the same thing.
That's a what?
That's a theme I'm picking up on.
It is.
Did you cry on this one too?
No, I didn't actually, because I had like some really great people that I could just sort of kvetch with, and oddly enough, just one musical thing. I named every LLC because each business has its own LLC after a Steely Dan lyric. So or song, the lyric that I named Linger after was Gold Teeth LLC, because I had run out of money and I felt like I had to put my gold teeth on the table. And that's why I named that one Gold Teeth LLC, aka Linger, because it just felt at that time I had really leveraged everything. And then the one after that was DIA, which again...
Oh, that's what... Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Is that the most successful restaurant of your 5?
So that one is by volume the most successful.
I mean, it's literally... Chris and I were talking about it before we got here. I come to this one maybe once every couple months. No offense.
No.
I'm a patron of all of your spots, but that one is the one I frequent the most. Whether it's just cocktails at 6:30,
right,
or it's
in
an actual
AM.
breakfast spread.
Yeah, not. Yeah, because I mean, airport time ceases to exist. We all know this. But I mean, yeah, like DIA, and it's in the Southwest fucking hub.
I know, right?
Like so, and I try to fly Southwest as much as possible because I got the card. But I mean, every time I go in there,
shout out to Chris.
Yeah, I'm going in there and I'm hitting up Linger for a boozy cocktail before I board this flight.
Root down, dick.
Yeah.
Root down. Why did I say Linger?
The dick is not part of the name. I think it was Root Down, comma dick.
Comma dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's had a couple libations. He gets a little wackadoo. But yeah, so y'all have gone on from DIA on to create Ophelia's Vital Root.
Vital Root and L5.
And then
the
L5.
Family Jones were part of that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we do the hospitality, the design, and the food. You know, it's sort of under our umbrella. I will say there's a great chef there. There's a great team there. We don't do a lot, but we're part of that, like birthing that and being part of that. It's right next door to us. They distill a lot of our spirits that are in our well. So we have a really symbiotic relationship. So restaurants, we're not expanding. I feel like DIA was the pinnacle of risk, because to open a restaurant in an airport that does farm to table with staffing out there, logistics, was the hardest thing we ever did. It wasn't the most, sort of like soul crushing, but it was the highest level of risk to execute at a level that felt like, we could get to. And it worked.
Yeah, we won't dive deep into this, but I have so many questions about restaurants, and they're like, plastic forks because of the whole
stabbing people in the ear with it. Or something.
Getting on an airplane with it. That was pretty gruesome. He was looking at Chris for everybody. But does the staff have to be background checked and the whole things? Yep. And that one I was kind of curious.
Fingerprinted, background check. You can't bring knives. All the knives are inventoried. So if you're a chef, you don't bring your own knives. They get inventoried at the beginning of the day. And I hope I don't get shot for saying all this. They get inventoried at the end of the night.
No, we won't shoot you, man.
No, it's the DIA Mafia I'm worried about. They're great out there.
Those people underground?
Yeah.
But
exactly.
They're scary.
So if you have, let's say you work for Root down out there.
Yeah.
Do you get flight deals and stuff if you work at the airport?
It's a tough.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
You get a shitty commute.
You get a shitty commute for sure. And you go through 20 minutes of security to get to your job. Think of that. So
imagine it's Friday, Christmas morning, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, security's backed up 7 rows deep." Be like,
there's an employee entrance, but it's still Christmas. That shit is still backed up. So it's really hard to do that there. And shout out to the people at DIA. They are such incredible. Some of the people, I would say a third of the people out there have been with us for almost 6 years out there.
Dude, yeah, I don't know his name. He's a tall bartender.
Derek?
Yeah, I think so. He's always out there. And yeah. It's funny seeing the same. Yeah, it's great seeing the same faces.
But to finish the sort of what next?
How do you remember a bartender from the air?
Dude, I
spend a lot. That's a lot of time you spend there.
I go in there and get a drink every flight I have.
He leaves his number. Eventually they start texting.
Yeah.
Hit me up next time.
There you go. Okay. I like it. Well played by Chris, but let's continue on the path.
So anyway, Root Down DIA was really, really difficult, but it's there, knock on wood. Then it was Ophelia's live music with the restaurant, which was, again, just something I always just felt like, how come all music experiences from the venue side are pretty shitty? They smell. And, they completely undervalue what the people are there experiencing, which is music and connection and all these things, but yet the venue were just garbage. So we wanted to open something that felt connected to the experience of music and food and hospitality. And then it was Vital Root, which was just complete left turn into honoring gluten-free. The place is 100% gluten-free. It's 98% vegan. It's
Terrible.
fast casual.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah,
Fast casual.
$12 or less. You're in and out in 10 minutes.
Shout out to our boy Gurley. We have friends that are regulars in there, and they
Nice.
swear by it. So you're on to something with when everyone else if Kip says it's bad, odds are that it's probably really good. And so this podcast sucks, but it turns out it's fantastic.
Turns out we're doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, but that's a great concept. How did you were kind of the only one on that strip too? It's like burger bars and West End Tavern.
Oh, God.
There's McGillicuddy's or whatever that stupid Patty's Pub was.
And what was that barbecue place? Big ass Troy's or Bubba Gumps it had all that shit.
I don't know, Highland Tap or the pizza places there though. That's pretty good.
Atomic Cowboy. That Vinyl Root was before that.
Hops and Pies.
Hops and Pies.
Yeah, that one fucks.
Hops and Pies.
That one fucks. Yeah. I think my wife said it once where she's like, and it's really true when I think about it. The one thing I always try to do is when something's not here, let's say that's in my life, I want to build a restaurant to do it. And then she jokes that you build these places. Vital was what I wanted at the time. I wanted to eat like that. I didn't want to wait on reservations. I didn't want to host. I wanted all that food, and I built it. And then she's like, then you never go there again. I built Ophelia's because I wanted to go to a place that could
That's my
get
favorite
music.
of yours, actually.
Ophelia's?
The
Nice.
food is pretty good. Pretty damn good, but the combination of constant live music, happy hours, and you have TVs. So if you want to go catch a game, we've watched games there in the bar. It's like a lively scene, and you can still grub pretty damn good food.
Yeah.
So I forgot that was in that was in the Beats fam.
That was in the Beats fam. And then L5 was also I love just sort of that style of eating, the tapas, Mediterranean. And
that
then having lived
paella,
over
brother.
there,
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's legit.
It fucks.
The chef there is amazing. Chef Corey has been with us for 8 years, and he was the chef here for a bunch of years. And when he heard we were opening it 3 or 4 years ago, he put his hat in loudest and strongest. And so it was really amazing that by the time we got there was a chef here who's amazing, and it all worked out. So to get to the end of the question, what's next is, we don't want to expand. I feel, sleep for sure. But expansion just doesn't feel right. This market is so saturated with young, hungry up-and-comers. I don't want to fuck with that. Let them do their thing. I was once that. Now I just want to sort of run these kids really just I want them to grow up and be, successful and happy and, loving life. And so I look at each of the restaurants as just there's enough here to keep any person busy. So now it's what do we do? We're still sort of there's a lot of creativity in the building. We're all passionate. So the next thing was a cookbook / zine.
Let's talk about that. So when I was talking with your team, they were like, y'all have a second session or a second zine coming out. But I was like, what the fuck is a zine? And I was reading it as a zine. And I was like, and then she said it, or just said it earlier. I was like, oh, magazine, like a book magazine.
Yeah.
But it's like a foodie. It's got recipes. It's got stories.
Yep.
It's kind of it's a mixture. It's a mixed bag of everything. And you're doing, and now number one did well, so we're doing a second one?
Yeah, and it's really hard for me to quantify these things. So somebody wanted one from some paper, and I wrote him a note because, everybody who works in the press gets a million solicitations. So to describe it on a note to them, I wrote another cookbook, maybe, a food zine, perhaps. I said a mixtape of culinary music, human commonality, and journal-isms. Exactly. And that's, to me, what it is. It's really a mishmash of food and music, journal-isms, and just connected stories of humans. And so, yeah, that sounds like some bullshit I just made up, but it's not. It's really what that thing is, because I always felt like the world doesn't need another cookbook. And it doesn't need another chef-driven, this is how you use your knife. This is how you tie your shoe. This is how you eat the thing. And I just wanted to celebrate everything that I feel like at Edible Beats is part of our culture. And it's all those things. And so there's music and movie reviews in there. There's some stories about both some really amazing people that are in our family that have had some life at death experiences, that have opened up a orphanage in Kathmandu.